Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I am your host, Johanna Dahlman. Today, I'm feeling very vibrant, very energetic, and just loving life. I got my hair done yesterday, which helps. No more roots. But for those of you who were on social media and saw what I posted, you would have seen that my hair grew over an inch each month and has been growing over an inch each month consistently. I've been tracking this because, of course, I get highlights. And so I'm able to track this with hair growth, right? Hair growth roots equals go back to the salon, right? And so every time I go, which is around 2 to 3 months, I'm able to see all the changes. But the best part of all is that my hairstylist was able to see too, that it was 2 inches exactly. And I'm very, very thrilled because that's the same that I've been having and tracking for since last year. Google is wrong. And anyone else telling you can't grow more than half an inch a month is a lie. And it's the same lie that sometimes we believe when they said back in the day, right? This was in the early 1900s, when you couldn't run a mile less than 4 minutes. This progressed and no one was able to break that speed limit until it actually happened. And now many people all over the world can run a mile in less than 4 minutes. Just because you can't right now doesn't mean you can't ever. And so that's one thing I really want to drive home today is that many times our limiting beliefs are given to us and accepted by us from others. And many times we give our power away. And so just like they used to say, you can't run a mile in less than 4 minutes, which obviously can be done. The same thing happens with hair and hair loss and hair growth. So don't believe Google and don't believe anyone else telling you you can't grow your hair back. You can't heal your alopecia. You can't put this to rest. You can't grow more than half an inch of hair a month because watch me and continue to watch me because I've done it. I've healed my autoimmune disease. I help others do it and I continue to grow. And I'm in my 40s, people, and I continue to grow over an inch of hair each month. It is possible. And so I wanted to start with this really uplifting message because you got to get on board. You really do. You want the hair loss to stop. You want the hair growth. You just got to get on the right path. It's really that simple. But today's topic is female pattern baldness, which is also known as androgenic alopecia. Over the years, over these last 6-7 years of me working with hair and only hair loss and hair growth and people in over 66 countries, I've come to learn a thing or two about female pattern baldness. I've come to help people with success with female pattern baldness, with androgenic alopecia, which again, doctors and dermatologists are only saying, hey, you can only have minoxidil or Rogaine. These are your only 2 options. Choose. That's not true. You can heal this naturally and effectively. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that no one's talking about the blind spots for androgenic or for female pattern baldness. And I'm going to give you 2 today, 2 really big, juicy ones, because A, no one's going to give these to you. And B, you're probably doing it and you don't even know, or you probably have done it, which has led you to this situation. So in a presentation that I gave a while back, I had an OBGYN at the front seat of my presentation speech on alopecia, of course. And when I came to the slide of medications that cause hair loss, he quickly raised his hand and he's like, wait, you're saying here that birth control causes hair loss? And I'm like, yes, not all of them, but many of them do. And so he's like, well, you know what? I prescribe birth control for the women with PCOS. PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome, if you don't know. And they come to me because they have mustaches, because they have hair on the sideburns, because they have hair on their stomach, and many other places that they don't want hair. So they come to me, I give them birth control, and yes, the hair goes away. He even acknowledged and said, years later, they will have androgenic alopecia. This bothered me, to say the least. It bothered me because as a doctor, as a male doctor, prescribing medications for excess hair, A, this shouldn't happen because that's not the solution. B, you're creating a bigger problem down the road. And that's potentially where some of you may be. That today you are facing female pattern baldness, today you are facing androgenic alopecia because potentially you started birth control or you're on birth control or you've been taking birth control for other reasons. The statistics show that on average, women are taking birth control as early as 14 and 15 and 16 years of age. And they're doing it primarily for cosmetic reasons, not because they don't want to get pregnant, not because they're sexually active, but it's because everyone's doing it. They don't want the excess hair, or maybe they have really bad cramps, or maybe it's because of their cysts or fibroids or et cetera, et cetera. A lot of times I see teens are taking birth control for skin clearing. This should not be the case. You're not treating the root cause of your acne or of your cysts or of your fibroids or not even of your PCOS with birth control. This is not the solution. Potentially, if you're looking back at your history, maybe you're starting to see the connection, how this all connects. So that's first and foremost, where I wanted you to be aware of this. Now, can you heal? Can you reverse this? 100% you can. It's like a leaky roof. What do you have to do with the leaky roof? You got to tear off the part of the leaky roof and build it back up. And maybe you have to switch out the whole roof, but you can always build it back up. And you can always build your health and your hair back from the ground up when you're ready and when you want it. You have to want it and you have to believe that it's possible for you. The other thing I wanted to mention is that many of you with female pattern baldness are taking supplements, and some of these supplements are not good for you, are not good for your type of hair loss. And so you can't do a one size fits all. I'll say right now, and I don't want to necessarily get in trouble with people out there or with companies out there, but there's one supplement company in particular, many supplement companies, let's just say it, many supplement companies that include ashwagandha in the formula. I've seen prenatals with ashwagandha. I've seen hair loss, hair, skin, and nail type of supplements with ashwagandha in it. Ashwagandha is a great natural Ayurvedic supplement. However, it actually creates more hair loss for those of you with female pattern baldness and androgenic alopecia. Let me say that again. Ashwagandha is not good for you if you have female pattern baldness and androgenic alopecia. You should not be taking it. What I'm seeing is that a lot of you, especially the ones that have recently come into the Hair and Heal program, all of you who have female pattern baldness, for the most part, are taking it, and you shouldn't be because it creates more hair loss. And so for that type of hair loss. So ashwagandha is a great herb. It's a great supplement, but I'm a proponent for a tailored approach. I'm also a proponent for avoiding all things that are one size fits all, because that's trying to say that I have to fit into a certain peg, into a certain hole. And if I don't fit, then, I'm out of luck. That's not the case. It's about creating your own path and about a customized path so that you can see the hair growth, the results, the health, and everything else that you want. I know you can. This is what I do. This is why you've seen so many success stories, the interviews, the before and after pictures, the testimonials. It goes on and on and on. From all different people, races, ethnicities, cultures, diets. We can't all be vegan. We can't all do keto. We can't all be carnivores. We can't all be one size fits all. And I'm the first one to say you can break the mold. You can defy that. Just like people said I couldn't reverse my alopecia, my autoimmune alopecia, and I did. 9 years later, still nothing. And I guarantee you nothing will ever come back because I dominate alopecia. It's under my control. And in the same way, I've dominated other things in my life. You can take control, even if it's postpartum, even if it's COVID, even if it's any stressful event. Life is going to happen, but you can still dominate the situation. You really can. And so this is what I'm all about. I'm about defying those odds. And I'm also growing my hair more than an inch each month consistently. And so I just cut my hair 2 inches like a month and a half ago. But that's not a concern for me. Like, it's no problem because I know my hair is growing at a rapid pace, but that's what healthy hair does. It grows at a rapid pace. You can get that too. Just like we can all learn French, just like we can all climb Mount Everest if we choose to. We can all swim from Cuba to Miami. We can all travel around the world. We can do anything we want to do. We just have to decide and take action. So if you want longer hair, if you want to stop the hair loss, if you want to heal your autoimmune alopecia, if you want to go on to living your best healthy life, you have to get a tailored approach. You have to get a customized approach. It's not a one size fits all. I see this a lot with my female pattern baldness androgenic clients. And so I wanted to share the wealth. I wanted to give you a heads up that if you're taking any supplements, and this is where you got to be looking at your supplements, what does it contain? And if you are iffy or questioning this, stop. If you're questioning this and you're like on the fence, just don't take it. It's as simple as that. Don't take it if you're on the fence and you're questioning it and you don't have the answers. I would say many times the Google searches, they're very limited, and a lot of it is misinformation. This is why getting yourself guided by the expert is the way to go. The other thing I wanted to say is that not every situation is going to require a certain supplement. So for example, in this case, ashwagandha, just because it could be in a hair, skin, and nails doesn't mean it's good for you. Just because it could be in a prenatal doesn't mean it's good for you, right? So this is where we have to be conscientious and we have to really be looking at what's going on because again, your situation is so different from everyone else's. Even if you all have the same type of hair loss, that doesn't make your life, your root causes, your blind spots all the same. It just doesn't. It doesn't equal out the same. So because of that, you have to have a custom approach. There's no way around it. I encourage you to take this information, to download the free PDF that I have on the homepage where it shows you all the medications that do cause hair loss and do have an interaction. That would be a first place that I'd go to is that homepage. I'd also go to the website, alopeciaangel.com, and look at the Hair and Heal program. The Hair and Heal program is an 8-week program where I walk you through week to week on what to do, what to improve, and how to be your best, and how to see that hair growth. And it works. There's no other proven method outside of this. It works. And it works for different types of hair loss, including scarring, traction, female pattern baldness, androgenic, alopecia areata, alopecia totalis, alopecia universalis. It doesn't matter for how long you've had it for, whether it's been 20 years, 14 years, 30 years, it doesn't matter. You can not work out for 30 years and then decide one day, I'm going to go work out again. You can do that. You could have failed Spanish in high school and say, hey, I'm 50 years old. I want to start doing Spanish again. You can. Just like you want to start something new, you can start this and start to see those results. It's all up to you. And even for those of you with telogen effluvium for 5 years or for diffuse, and you've seen a gazillion different types of health professionals and still have gotten nowhere, I highly, highly recommend that you see my previous podcast episodes where I'm interviewing clients who have similar stories, who've been through the runaround, who've tried it all, and who've come to me and who've seen those results. Rate and review, like our podcast. And if you could leave me a 5-star review, I would definitely appreciate that so that more people can hear about healing alopecia once and for all, and then living their best life. I look forward to speaking to you next time. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.